Hey you! Sick of your healthy food relationship? Wish mealtime could be more dramatic? Do you yearn to obsess over your next meal even though you just ate? Introducing dieting! Enjoy fearing every bite of food. Relish the never-ending contradictory studies and medical advice telling you which foods are healthy versus deadly. Delight in watching others eat a full range of delicious meals while feeling deprived, inferior, and unsatisfied with your limited options. With just 365 easy payments of time and sanity per year, you too can possess dieting for your very own. But wait! There's more. Just by ordering dieting, you'll receive hundreds of bonus symptoms free of charge. Bonus symptoms include binging, frustration, confusion, craving foods you really didn't care about before, exhaustion, social avoidance, shame, plus completely stressing out your body by jumping from one extreme diet to another just to end up sicker and fatter in the long run, and much more. Order today. My mini health challenges are well documented on this channel. When the ailments started to thoroughly disrupt my life and doctors had no solutions, I turned to the
all-powerful internet gods.
Dieting and religiously following nutritional gurus appeared to be my savior. I read books, listened to podcasts, devoured blogs, bought cookbooks and supplements. Their promises were simple and seductive. Merely buy all their company's products and eat strictly within their diet's parameters, and consequently enjoy perfect health forever, reverse the wrinkles and sagging of an aging body, never need sleep again, become an Olympic champion, and finally develop mutant powers, thus earning a personal invitation from Professor Xavier himself to join the X-Men. And then and only then will the crushing mediocrity that haunts me everywhere I go subside. When the diet inevitably failed to heal and restore my messed up body, the blame was all on me. I should have bought more supplements, apps, books, and products. Or I wasn't preparing every ounce of grass-fed organic local food perfectly. Or I needed to tough out the torturous symptoms of the diet a little bit longer.
I guess my body doesn't know it's the Dragon Warrior yet. I'm gonna need a lot more than dew and, universe juice.
Unfortunately, I fell for this pitch over and over. Out of pure desperation, I hoped that each new regimen was different and better.
Isn't hope the worst?
But I only ended up in poor health and flabbier after each attempt. To be fair, I don't believe every diet guru is an evil, money-grabbing crook. I'm sure there are plenty who are honest and well-intentioned. One of the preeminent problems with nutrition is all the contradictory information out there. Quoting Dan Rubitsky, if the science surrounding nutrition and diet seems, well, confusing and awful, that's because it usually is. Think about it. One day, saturated fat is bad, then it's fine. Fat was once the devil, but now sugar is. Wine both causes and prevents cancer. Nutrition research is rife with weak methodology, human error, and the biases of the scientists behind them. For instance, a major study that set out to see if alcohol consumption came with health benefits was canceled after accepting tens of millions of dollars from the alcohol industry and hinting at favorable results. It's almost impossible to come up with accurate findings in nutritional studies because there are too many uncontrollable factors, like genetics, brain illness, activity level, and sleep quality. All of these need to be examined and seriously considered to measure overall well-being. Diet gurus capitalize on this chaos by taking advantage of both our uncertainty and urgency for better health. With all of my combined nutritional knowledge, I could argue every single bite of food is toxic, incorporating PowerPoint presentations to prove it. And yet, somehow, without all of these studies, nutritional recommendations, and lab-altered seeds, our species somehow survived up until now? How did our ancestors know what to eat without the internet? The minute I prohibit any food from my diet, it becomes an all-powerful obsession, almost like the food itself has taken on the power of mind control. This is a common and well-known psychological phenomenon. According to this fancy PubMed article, starvation and self-imposed dieting appear to result in eating binges once food is available and in psychological manifestations such as preoccupation with food and eating, increased emotional responsiveness and dysphoria, and distractibility. Caution is thus advisable in counseling clients to restrict their eating and diet to lose weight, as the negative sequelae
Sequela.
may outweigh the benefits of restraining one's eating. Instead, healthful, balanced eating without specific food restrictions should be recommended as a long-term strategy to avoid the perils of restrictive dieting. I've had several instances with eating binges and preoccupation with food as described in the article, and even though they're super embarrassing, I'll share 2 examples. The first one was terribly frightening. Whenever I try to restrict carbohydrates in any way, I'm provoked into an uncontrollable Cookie Monster-style binge. It is genuinely alarming and shame-inducing. I start hysterically shoving any sugar in my mouth that's in arm's reach. I'm talking about the disgusting who knows how old Halloween candy that's stuck to the bottom of the snack drawer that my kids won't even eat.
Blessed Halloween! No, not the
The nasty random bag of sugary snack mix we haven't bothered to throw away. Even the crumbs on the filthy floor from my kids' cupcake are irresistible. Yep, scavenging on the floor for tiny tidbits of sugar is not my proudest moment. I assumed this frenzied preoccupation with sugar was because of a lack of willpower. There are so many admirable examples of people who have thrived on restrictive diets, so I supposed I was an inferior person because I couldn't keep my hands off those alluring white granules of Hades. It is curious that I wasn't very interested in sugar before I started dieting, and also now that I'm not restricting it, I don't really eat it that often. My other example is an interesting case study. When I was trying to heal from severe adrenal fatigue, I noticed when I drank a lot of water, I'd faint soon after. I described this to my doctor and he told me to avoid drinking plain water. All I needed to do was add a little salt to water or drink juice instead. Not too hard, right? Pretty much the second my brain understood pure water needed to be cut out, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was more than a craving or thirst, it was a tormenting fixation. This is the most accessible and abundant ingredient in my home and pretty much everywhere I go. But because I couldn't have it, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was able to abstain from plain water for about a week and then finally couldn't handle it anymore. I guzzled down a bunch of that sweet cloud nectar and then promptly fainted. But yet again, as soon as I simply drank a small bit of water when I was thirsty, the mysterious water fixation disappeared. There's this super duper article from Parsley Health. It states, the more you try to control what you eat, the more you'll crave the foods you've labeled as bad. Similarly, the more you try to control the size of your body, the more you'll feel out of control around food. It's a double-edged sword. So, how can we fix our obsession with food? Number 1, eat food that makes you feel nourished, satisfied, and well instead of following general dieting advice. Every body is different. What works for one doesn't necessarily work for all. Number 2, eat well because you care about your health and well-being, not to change your outward appearance. Number 3, stop trying to control your weight and learn to accept your body at the weight it settles upon naturally without extreme dieting or exercising. When we learn to take care of ourselves for reasons other than weight loss and stop trying to control our bodies, our obsession with food naturally starts to fall away and food becomes much less important. I'm still right in the midst of this challenging journey, but I've learned some stuff that may be helpful. I've noticed my health is like a line of dominoes. The first and most important tile is my brain health. When my brain is healthy, I literally crave exercise. When I exercise, I sleep well. When I sleep well, I naturally gravitate towards foods that make me feel terrific, taste delicious, and actually give me the energy to plan and prepare more healthful meals. When I eat foods that are nourishing, my mood is stable and I'm able to serve, work, socialize, and enjoy life. If my brain is dysfunctional, all the dominoes fall and things get frantic. I've heard the phrase, I'm addicted to food, And while this is a real and serious disorder experienced by a small portion of the population, I believe it's a dangerous mindset for most of us to have. It's like saying, I'm addicted to air. And just like after a strenuous activity, our brain signals the lungs to breathe quickly and deeply in order to receive more oxygen, maybe we eat an overabundance of food because our body isn't receiving what it needs to thrive. Maybe our brain doesn't turn off the hungry signal until certain nutrient levels are reached. Maybe our attitude towards food influences how our body assimilates nutrients and stores fat. What if, instead of food being the enemy, we focus on enjoying nourishing food that has given our ancestors health and enjoyment for thousands of years? So, if you're struggling with health concerns or body composition frustration, it may be possible that the old shame and blame yourself because you don't have enough willpower is the wrong path. Maybe you aren't dysfunctional. Maybe your incredibly powerful and complex brain is dysfunctioning. That would actually be great news. Our brains are incredibly moldable and changeable. I continue to use the DNRS system to support my brain health, but there are hundreds of great options and treatments to choose from. Understanding how my brain functions has been the only successful road to recovery for me. If you'd like more information, I've included lots of helpful links in the description.
Now, my friends, at the close of this video, let me leave you with some words of wisdom to take with you into that adventure we call life. When it comes to following nutritional information, don't be a sheep.
Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to my amazing son for his animations. If you'd like to support this channel, a like, comment, and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. I'm so excited to share my brain adventures with you all.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.